2,000 years ago.
Imagine this.
A former slave
You're
named
thousands
Epictetus
of miles
revealed a
from
truth
home,
that most people still
broke,
fail to understand.
with nothing to your
Today,
name,
the reason we suffer
stranded
is not
in a
because life
city
is cruel,
where no one knows
but because
you.
we become emotionally chained
Most
to
people
things we were
would
never meant
panic,
to control.
despair.
Think about it. How much of
Maybe
your peace
even
depends
give
on
up
other people,
entirely,
on money,
but one
on
man
success,
turned
on
this
being loved,
nightmare
respected,
into the
accepted,
beginning of
or
his
understood.
legacy.
The terrifying reality
This was
is that the
Zeno
moment
of
your happiness
Cyprus.
depends on something outside of you. Your
Shipwrecked
peace
in
is held
Athens
hostage
around
by the world,
300 BC,
and the world is unstable.
He had lost
People
everything.
change. Circumstances
instead
collapse.
of cursing his
Relationships fade.
he
Fortune
wandered
gives
into a
and
small
fortune takes
bookshop,
away. This is
picked
why
up a
Epictetus
book
taught
about
that human beings
Socrates,
suffer because they care
and
about
his
too many
life
things that are not
changed
truly
forever.
theirs. But his
That
philosophy was never
moment
about becoming
sparked the
cold or
creation
emotionless.
of Stoicism,
Stoicism
a
is not about
philosophy
refusing
that
to
would
care.
teach
It
generations
is about learning what
how
deserves
to
your
remain
energy
calm
and what will
under
only
pressure.
destroy your inner peace.
Act
At the
with
center of his
integrity
teachings lies one of the
and
most
find
powerful
power,
ideas ever
not in
created,
wealth
the
or
dichotomy of
status,
control. In simple words,
but in the
some
mastery
things are
of
within our control,
oneself.
and others are
Zeno
not.
began to
Our
study
thoughts,
under
choices,
Athens'
attitudes,
most
actions,
celebrated
and
philosophers,
responses belong to us.
absorbing their
reputation,
wisdom,
wealth,
and
power,
learning to
other
see
people's
the
behavior,
world in a
and
way
the endless chaos
that
of life
few
do
ever
not.
have.
And the moment we
From
confuse
his
these two
studies,
categories,
he
suffering
developed
begins.
a philosophy
Because if your
centered
happiness depends on
not
things
on luck,
outside your control,
wealth,
then your life will constantly
or
swing
fleeting
between fear
pleasures,
and disappointment.
but on virtue.
But if your focus remains only on your
self-control,
character and
your
your
disciplined
actions
use
and your mindset,
of reason,
then nothing outside of
he
you can truly
and
break
his
you.
disciples
That is where
would
real
meet
strength
in the
is born.
Stoical,
In his works,
a
discourses,
painted
and
public
enchiridion,
porch,
Epictetus
and discuss
repeatedly reminds us
life,
that external
ethics,
events are not what hurt
and
us.
the nature of the
Our
universe.
attachment to them is what hurts us.
It's from
He
this
even said
place
that exile
that the
could not destroy his
philosophy
peace,
takes its
because
names.
although someone could take away his home,
Today,
they could not
when we
take away
call
his ability
someone
to remain
stoic,
calm, cheerful,
we
and
usually
dignified.
mean someone
Imagine that
calm
level of mental
or
freedom.
unshakable.
Most people collapse,
But
the
the
moment
original
life stops going
Stoics
according to
taught much
plan.
more.
But Stoicism
They taught
teaches
that
us
the universe
that peace
is
does not come
governed
from
by a
controlling the
rational
world.
order,
Peace comes from
a
controlling
web
ourselves
of
within the world.
cause and effect,
And this changes
they called
everything.
logos.
Because once you understand
And
this,
that,
you stop
while
wasting
we
energy
cannot
trying to
always
force
control
reality
what
to obey your
happens to
desires.
us,
Instead, we
we
become
can
stronger
control
than reality
how we
itself.
respond.
Epictetus explained that the
Stoicism
outside
isn't
world is
about
unpredictable,
escaping
temporary,
reality.
and unreliable.
It's
Yet human
about
beings cling to
confronting
it as if it
fully,
belongs to them forever.
understanding
We
it,
cling to possessions,
and using
relationships,
reason to
status,
navigate
beauty,
life's challenges.
comfort, and power.
It's about
We build our identities around
self-improvement
things that can
through
disappear
4
overnight.
cardinal virtues,
And when life inevitably changes, we
practical
feel shattered.
wisdom,
But according to
ability
Stoicism,
to make
the pain is
clear,
not caused by change
logical
itself.
decisions,
The pain comes
even
from refusing
in
to accept
complex
change.
situations.
One of the deepest lessons from Epictetus
Temperance,
is the idea that we should
practice of
stop clinging to people,
moderation and
objects, and power.
self-restraint in all
Human
things.
beings naturally become attached.
Justice, the
We call it
commitment
love,
to fairness,
but often
and
it is possession
integrity,
disguised as
even
love.
when others
We become
wrong
terrified
us.
of losing the people we care about.
Encourage the strength
Sometimes we suffer
to
their loss
face
before it
life's
even happens,
trials
simply
every
because
day
our imagination
with
constantly
clarity
creates
and
fear,
moral fortitude.
and this fear slowly poisons our
As
lives.
Seneca wrote,
The same thing happens with
sometimes
wealth and
Sometimes
power,
even to
the
live
more people gain,
is an act
the more
of
they fear
courage.
losing it. And the hunger for
Yet
more never
Stoicism
ends.
is not
Power
a
promises control,
self-centered
yet power
philosophy.
itself can vanish in a moment.
It calls
History
for
is filled with
empathy,
powerful people
fairness,
destroyed by their own attachment to power.
action in the world.
Stoicism reminds us that fighting the temporary nature
Marcus
of life
Aurelius,
is a battle nobody wins.
one of history's
Everything
greatest
changes.
Stoic thinkers,
Everything passes.
and a Roman
The wise
emperor
person learns to enjoy life
applied
without
these
trying to imprison it
principles
forever.
to govern an empire.
Epictetus
through
compared life
wars,
to a dinner party.
political
When something comes
upheaval,
to you, enjoy
and
it with
profound
gratitude.
personal
When it
loss.
leaves, let it go without
His
desperation.
journals,
Do not
written
chase what has not
in the
arrived,
solitude
and do
of
not
his
cling
mind,
to what is already leaving.
would
That is how
later
a free
guide
mind
Nelson Mandela.
Another powerful
during
truth is this:
27 years
stop
of
clinging to the
imprisonment,
opinions of other people.
shaping
Modern
his
society has
unwavering
made people
commitment
addicted to validation.
justice,
People exhaust
peace,
themselves trying to be
and
liked, admired,
reconciliation.
approved of, and accepted.
Centuries later,
They hide their true selves
Mandela
just to
would
avoid
emerge.
criticism. But
Not
Epictetus warned that
seeking
living for the
revenge,
approval of others is a
but
form of
striving
slavery,
to build a
because the
better,
opinions of people are unstable.
fairer world.
One day
a
they praise you,
testament to the
next day they
enduring
judge you.
power of Stoic
If your self-worth
principles.
depends on their approval,
The
then your
influence
peace
of
will constantly
Stoicism
rise and fall with their emotions.
stretches beyond Greece.
Stoicism
and
teaches
Rome.
us that tranquility is more
Thinkers
valuable
like
than
Thomas
popularity.
Aquinas
Sometimes
admired
people
its
will
focus
misunderstand
on
you,
virtue,
ridicule you, or reject you.
while its
And that is
pursuit
okay.
of inner peace
Their opinions
mirrors
belong
the
to them,
Buddhist
not to you.
concept of nirvana.
What matters is your own character.
Philosophers
What matters
like
is whether you live with
Epictetus
integrity and
taught that suffering
Epictetus
doesn't
even said
come
that when
from
someone
external
insults you,
events,
remember that it is not their
but
words
from the
that hurt you,
judgments
but
we
your
make
opinion
about
those
them.
words.
A lesson
This
that
is one of the
resonates
hardest
in
lessons of
modern
Stoicism,
psychology,
because it forces us to
from
realize that much of our
cognitive
suffering comes
behavioral
from our own
therapy
interpretation of
to
events.
Viktor Frankl's
The world may throw
logotherapy,
insults, failures, and disappointments at
developed
you,
from his
but your reaction
experiences
is still your
as a
responsibility.
concentration
And
camp
finally,
prisoner.
Epictetus teaches us to stop
Even
clinging to
in the
outcomes and
darkest
unrealistic
circumstances,
expectations. Human beings
Stoicism
constantly
reminds
fight
us
reality,
that we have the
that we obsess
power
over
to
how life should have
choose
gone,
how we
how people should
respond,
behave, how the
to
future should
create
unfold.
meaning,
But reality
and
does
to
not
live a
obey our
life
expectations.
of courage,
The universe moves
integrity,
according to its own laws.
and
And the more we resist this
imagine
truth,
this.
the more pain
You're
we create for
thousands
ourselves.
of miles
Stoicism
from home,
teaches acceptance, not
with
weakness.
nothing to your name,
Acceptance means understanding
stranded
that life
in
will
a
never
city
be perfect.
where no
People will
one
disappoint
knows
you. Situations will change.
Most people
and
would
suffering
panic,
will sometimes arrive without warning.
despair.
But even then,
Maybe
you still
give
possess
up
the most
entirely,
important power of
but
all,
one man
the power to
turned
choose
this
your
nightmare
response.
into the beginning.
Someone may
of
betray
his
you,
legacy.
insult you, abandon you,
This
or
was
take away
Zeno
your
of
possessions.
Cyprus,
but they cannot force you to surrender your inner
shipwrecked in
peace
Athens
unless you allow them
around
to.
300 BC.
This is why Epictetus said,
he had lost
"Don't demand
everything,
that things happen as you wish,
yet
but
instead
wish
of
that they
cursing
happen as
his
they do
fate,
happen, and you will
he
go on well."
wandered into a small
In other words,
bookshop,
Stop fighting
picked up a
reality
book
and
about
start mastering
Socrates,
yourself within reality.
and his life
Because true freedom
changed
begins the
forever.
moment you stop trying to
That
control the
moment
uncontrollable.
sparked the creation.
At the end of the day, Stoicism is not about becoming
that would
emotionless.
teach generations
It is about becoming
how to
unshakable.
remain calm.
It is about
under
learning to
pressure,
stand calmly in a world that
act
constantly
with
changes.
integrity.
It is about
and find
understanding
power
that peace does not
in
come
wealth
from owning more
or status,
controlling more, or being admired by
But
everyone.
in the mastery of
Peace
oneself
comes from mastering your mind,
Zeno began
letting
to
go
study
of what was
under
never truly
Athens'
yours,
most
from accepting the
celebrated
temporary nature of
philosophers,
life without fear.
absorbing
will
their
always
wisdom
change.
and learning
People will
to
always
see
come
the world
and go.
in a way
Fortune
that
will
few
always
ever
rise
have.
and fall. But if you
From
learn to
his
focus
studies,
only on what lies
he
within your
developed a
control,
philosophy
your character,
centered
your actions,
not on luck,
your attitude, and your choices,
wealth,
then no
or
external
fleeting
force can
pleasures,
truly destroy
but
your inner
on
peace.
virtue,
And that may be the greatest
self-control,
freedom a human
and the
being can ever
disciplined
achieve.
use of